Alright, so I just watched Harbor's video where he finally got his second mythic after much complaining. So, the question here is, am I going to pull more mythics out of my box than him? So I'm already at 2, he already tied me at 2. So let's see what we pull tonight. You will notice I do not use a knife because, as Harbor has so clearly demonstrated, sharp objects, not a good idea when you're already a little bit on the upset side. Or, if you're me, and you just had your first glass of wine in like 3 months because of the COVID-19 pandemic, you're pretty heavily buzzed after a glass of wine. But that's just me. Alright, let's see what we got. Alrighty, let's see here. So I am not angry. I will probably read the cards if they are interesting. So, Frostlings, 2-2 for 3. We've pulled this before. You can get to nice ETB. Tigerilla enters the battlefield with Trample or Menace. If you're playing cats or you're playing apes, not bad. Otherwise, meh. Perimeter Sergeant. Whenever it attacks other humans you control, get +1/+0. So, sort of a very weak human lord. The Almighty Brushwag, a 1/1 trample for 1 that you can pump endlessly. I feel like this needs to be abused. Mutual Destruction, good in a sacrifice deck. So black, sorcery, or you can play it with at instant speed if you've got a permanent with flash. So sack a creature, destroy a creature. Not bad for 1. Especially if you can trigger off your sack. Anyway, Shredded Sails. I always like any card that gives you choices and is modifiable. And so this is a good one. Don't know where it's going to go, but we'll see. Hampering Snare. Alright, this is a new one for me. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-0 until end of turn. Yeah, that one's not great. Ooh, Evolving Wilds. So I'm going to disagree wholeheartedly with Harbor. I think the art on this is pretty. It basically says this land is changing. I like it a lot. I will probably be putting a couple of these in a couple different decks. Alright. You will notice, unlike Harbor, I cannot tell if I've got a foil coming or not, so I have no idea. Blood Curdle, 4, destroy a creature, and then you put a menace counter on a creature you control. Maybe. Maybe. Kind of depends on what you're trying to do. Alright. Plummet with new art. Void Beckoner. So Harbor just pulled this in the video I was watching. So a Death Touch 8/8. You got 3 for cycling, and when you cycle Void Beckoner, put a Death Touch counter on target creature you control. So, when I saw this card, I was like, alright, that has definitely got to be in a graveyard recursion deck. So you cycle it, put a Death Touch counter on something on the battlefield, and then get it out of your graveyard. I think that's actually a pretty good card. I don't currently have a heavy non-tribal graveyard recursion deck, so I don't have a spot for it, but I'd like to have one. Ooh. A Dimir color card. I always like Dimir colors. Cunning Nightbonder. So, hybrid, flash. Spells with flash you cast cost 1 less to cast and can't be countered. That... I don't know where that goes, but that actually seems like it would be a good... It would definitely go in the 99, it would definitely go in the 58, depending on what you're playing and what your goal is. Also, the art on that is super cool. Like, I really like that art, that looks nice. Alright. Lead the Stampede. Reprint with some much better art than the Mirrodin art. Ooh, okay, so here is our rare, and it has everybody's favorite ASD. Let's see, what does this do? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card for 4. Whirlwind of Thought. So if you're not sure what I'm referencing, word on the street is Narset is on the autism spectrum disorder. Perhaps she has Asperger's. Perhaps she is somewhere along those lines. So Jeskai colors, I don't play a lot of Jeskai, but this definitely pairs well in any Narset deck you're playing. So if you're playing old school creature Narset, this is definitely going to be one that you're going to want to do, because then it's going to just trigger all the damn time. So that's pretty good. All right, Swamp. Ooh, and Narset of the Ancient Way token. Maybe I'll get lucky and pull that, because then that would pair nicely there. All right, not bad on that. Turns out the Mythos cards, which I pulled in my last video, yeah, didn't really sell for much, unfortunately, right now. So that's a bummer. Anyway, Perimeter Sergeant, we just pulled one of these. Phase Dolphins, I will say the same line I say when I pull this card. A dolphin is not a whale. They needed to name this a phase whale or have this an elemental dolphin. It irritates me. Pyroceratops, 4 for a 2/3 trample that you put a +1/+1 counter on it when you cast a non-creature spell. Interesting. The Brushwag, another mutual destruction. Rumbling Rock Slide. I'm going to disagree with Harper on this. I think this one could actually have pretty good options early on, because at the very least you're paying 4 to deal 4 damage, generally speaking. And so I think if you're playing a red-green in any variant there where you're doing a lot of land-based ramp, you could actually on, say, like turn 5, turn 6, deal a decent number of damage. It'd be interesting to see. Convolute, a not awesome counterspell. Mysterious Egg, a not awesome 0/2 for 1. Corpse Churn, an actually okay card. We've pulled several of these already. All right, I think we should be going into the uncommons. Nope. We have a Flycatcher Giraffid, choice of Vigilance or Reach. 5 for a 3/5, not amazing. Ooh, all right. Trumpeting Gnar, 3 for a 3/3. You can also pay 3 and 2 hybrid for whenever this creature mutates, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. That is pretty good. This art, I think I actually like the regular art better, but you know what? We'll take that. We'll take that. Huntmaster Liger. This is an interesting one. So 4 for a 3/4. You can also mutate for 2 and a white. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. I feel like I've seen a couple of these where there's an X and it's related to the number of times your creature's mutated. It would be interesting to see here. Okay, that's a decent card. Unlike a lot of these other ones, looks like you probably ought to be playing Cat Tribal, which is kind of a thing. Alright, that's a cool looking card. Archipelagor. So 7, or mutate it for 6 whenever this creature mutates. Tap up to X target creatures, where X is the number. See, that's what I was talking about with that mechanic, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap, and this is a 7/7. Oh, yes, I am really excited about this. So I've got a couple green-based decks, and I definitely have a Tishana deck. And when I saw this, I was like, I need to pull that card because that needs to go in my Tishana deck. So Colossification. 5 green, enchant creature. When Colossification enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +20/+20. So, it might seem like it sucks, unless you've got the ability to untap creature before your combat phase, and then in which case you've got an untapped 26/26. throw a little trample on that, make it unblockable. You are getting through and you are knocking somebody out in one turn on that. So that's actually pretty good. I'm really glad I pulled that. We got a Scoured Barrens. We got a Human Soldier. All right. Pleased with that. Let's see what we pull in the last one here. All right, Spontaneous Flight. It is generally agreed upon that the art on this is exceedingly cute. I agree wholeheartedly. Startling Development. Not a great card other than the flavor text. Remarkably, dinner continued with no further interruptions. Forbidden Friendship. When you really just want to get you some dinosaur cloaca. Google it. Fully Grown. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Put a trample counter on it. Not bad. Unlikely Aid. That is a reprint. Dranith Healer. Cycling. Heightened Reflexes. Not a bad card for 1 red. Instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and you get to put a first strike counter on it. So, we'll take that. Aegis Turtle. 05 for 1. Unexpected Fangs. A 1/1 counter and a lifelink counter for 1 and a black. Essence Symbiote. Whenever a creature you control mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and you gain 2 life. So that is just a mutate helper. Alright, we are now into the uncommon. So I think Harbor just pulled a foil version of these. 4 for a 3/3 dinosaur. Whenever Momentum Rumbler attacks, if it doesn't have first strike, put a first strike counter on it. Whenever Momentum Rumbler attacks, if it has first strike, it gains double strike until end of turn. That's pretty nasty. I think that's probably going to go in my dinosaur deck because it's actually at a pretty good CMC there. Ooh, Monstrous Step. This is a new one for me. Target creature gets +7/+7 until end of turn. Up to 1 target creature blocks it this turn if able. Life is best taken 1 step at a time. Amen, sister. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. Alright, this is also a new one. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, exile it instead. This would be better if you could hit players too. But not bad. Not sure. Maybe I got a spot for that. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, all right. So we pulled 2 Jeskai cards out of this 3-pack. I think I need to come up with a Jeskai deck at this point in time. So Inspired Ultimatum. 2 blue, 3 red, 2 white. Target player gains 5 life. Inspired Ultimatum deals 5 damage to any target. Then you draw 5 cards. So you're paying 9 to deal 5, gain 5, and draw 5. That's pretty good. It's mighty expensive, though. That's the only downside there. You've got to have, and you're in colors where you can't really ramp, other than artifact ramp. So you're looking at maybe getting that out on turn 5 if you are super lucky. More likely turn 6, turn 7, maybe turn 8 plus. And it's also not a game winner on those turns, but it is like hand reloading, which is super important. But I feel like blue has enough draw cards. I don't know. I'll give it a B+. We'll see. Rugged Highlands and a sexy dinosaur card for you. Alright, so while I've been making this video, I have been getting loads of text from the rest of the MTR EDH table, so I'm curious to see what they are.